Hello, my homeowner and investor friends. This is Ken Renner coming at you from Liberty Hill, North Austin area. And I just wanted to give you a quick 5 minute market update with what's going on. We just got the latest stats in from the Austin Board of Realtors. Just overall, what we're seeing a lot more inventory hit the market, just like I predicted last month and the month before. And that's, of course, is going up substantially quick amount of homes that are hitting the market. So we're seeing kind of pretty much a leveling out of prices. And we're not seeing a whole lot of activity like we're used to at this time of year. Pretty much the assessment here is that if you need to sell, then you can still sell, but you're going to have to price it right. Those that are just wanting to sell and they're not going to price it within the market or below market are going to have a tough time, and the property will sit. So the statistics will show that because the buyers have a lot more options and they're not in a hurry. With all the news and everything about what's going on, the turmoil in the market and Mideast and all that, it gets people to not go out and look at homes. So really, the ones that are out there that are actually looking to buy, they're serious buyers, and those that need to sell, they're serious sellers, and that's pretty much it. If you're just wanting to sell, and you're trying to get top dollar for it, you just pretty much beware that the market is not in a very conducive conditions. Definitely a buyer's market. So let's just jump into the stats. I want to keep this short because I know you're busy. Okay, so here we go. This is the made the ABOR stats from last month because it's always a month behind. Median price for Austin Metro is 449, which is not, pretty much flat, a little less than 2% below last year. We have 3,000 closed sales, which is down percentage wise. And then we're at 5 months inventory. And so the 5 months inventory, that's really pretty much an equilibrium market. But since we're accelerating so fast, definitely would call it a buyer's market. We're seeing also 94% of the asking price is what's actually selling. So if you price your house at 500,000, you're probably going to be expecting to take about 5% less than that, which would be about 475. And that's kind of what we're seeing. And so really, but what my biggest concern here is the amount of the homes that are on the market. Where I saw that starting last month and the month before, seeing the amount of, because we're not getting as many closed sales, those that are putting their houses on the market, increasingly a huge amount of inventory is hitting the market. So you can see we have 14,673 listings right now. And that's a pretty high number. We're not used to seeing that many homes on the market, up 17.5% from last year at this time. And that looks like it's going to continue because you can see we have 5,700 new listings, but last month we only had 21 closings. So if they keep that pace of new listings, we're going to see another couple, between grand and 1,000, 2,000 more homes on the market next month, unless we start seeing some really good numbers on sales pending. There's a good indication here, though. 4,515 homes that are pending. So hopefully we'll see that absorb the number of new listings that we have on the market, so we don't keep on stacking more and more properties. Seems to me, especially with my neighborhood being, between the 500 and a million mark, that this area of Santa Rita Ranch is definitely struggling with especially resales because the builders are offering so many great incentives that it's really hard to compete. And so once again, if you have to offer the same thing the builders offer, and we can have a whole conversation about that. But our other markets are doing pretty darn good, which is the Temple Belton market, our New Braunfels, our West Side San Antonio. Those are all really stable. Really haven't seen a big drop in prices, and I haven't really seen a huge drop in rents. All right, so we also take a look at in January, we only had 9,616 listings, so it's 5,000 listings less than we had we have now. So we have the average median price is 409 back in January. So today's median price of 449 is probably a reflection of maybe higher prices being of the homes that are being sold rather than more volume, because the volume hasn't really changed a whole lot as far as the amount of homes that we're selling. So we're also looking at May 24th, May 2024. This is last year at this time. That was 1,200. We had 12,000 listings, which is substantially up from 2023, with 37% up, almost 40% more homes than the previous year. So that was 2024, a year ago, and so really the market's been pretty much flat since then. Just also in the rental market, this is a little bit more of a refreshing though. Our rental market I've been seeing has been getting, well, overall the stats are that we've lost about 18 to 19% of the peak rent in Austin Metro. In our submarkets, maybe 10% at the most that we've seen drop from the very peak of the market. But these numbers are actually looking pretty good. You look at 2,200 median rent. I mean, it's last year or a year before, probably that would be more like 2,500. 2,600, but that's the reality. So we have to prepare that if you're going to put it on the lease market, which is a lot of people are because they can't sell their house and need to move, they're going to lease the property out. And so we're seeing a lot of competition there. The average rent price, the people really aren't negotiating on the rent prices. They try to, but they usually don't. Also, you're looking at 1.8 month supply, which is not too bad. 34 days on the market, not too bad. But it also depends on where the property is. Comparing, let's see, that was the Williamson County market. The overall Austin, Round Rock, the whole metro, looking about average rent about $2,300 a month, and the 2 months inventory. So a little bit more inventory in the overall market than Williamson County, where I live, which has just over a month of supply. So the average rent's 23, about the same as it was last year. So it's hasn't really changed a whole lot rent wise, and about 40 days on the market, which is not bad, especially all things considered. We do have to realize that this market is a changing market. We have to stay ahead of it, and that's why I'm giving you all this information. We're going to have more consistent videos coming out a little bit more consistently because the information is coming in so quickly. For instance, I'll be interviewing my insurance carrier, my insurance expert, Todd from Integra Insurance, and I'll be putting that out next week because there's been a big shakeup in the insurance industry, and so that affects our rental properties. Like Progressive, one of the biggest insurers in the United States, has pulled out of the Texas market as far as renting to investors. So I'm looking for solutions on that, and also we'll have some great advice about what to do and what not to do when I talk to Todd from Integra, and we'll get that podcast out next week. So keep an eye on the emails that I send them, and we'll keep you informed. And obviously, there's some really some great deals. We just are closing on a house in the New Braunfels area for $188,000 for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,483 square feet. Check it out. Give me a call. I'll be glad to talk with you. But just want to give you that quick update on what's going on in the market. So my name is Kenn Renner, 512-423-5626. Thanks a lot. I hope to talk to you soon, and I'll see you on the other side.